That was a quick moment of silence for George H.W. Bush. And he passed away recently. And when he did, I was really shocked. So in today's video, I'm going to be telling y'all how last night, I found out about George H.W. Bush passing away. Me and my sisters were over at my aunt's house. We were having a sleepover, okay? Because that's usually what we do on weekends when we have no school. It was a Friday night. The girls were asleep, my aunt was asleep, and I was sitting in the floor. I had a blanket in the floor, and I was sleeping there. And I was, watching a bunch of compilations and a bunch of Fortnite YouTubers. All of a sudden, I get this notification from the news, okay? Not Fox News, just news. That app on your phone. And I clicked on it, and the words that I read absolutely scarred me. George H.W. Bush dies at age 94. So I'm sitting there, eyes wide, my heart sinks to my body. If I wasn't scared crapless, I'd be losing it right now. But I sat there for about 10 seconds. I'm like, oh my God. Did one of the presidents just die? So I just read over, making sure that I'm not getting any mistakes. And it was clear. George H.W. Bush passed away that second. That second it was reported that George H.W. Bush is passing away. So I jump up, I run to my aunt. I'm like, Auntie, George H.W. Bush passed away. My mouth was stumbling. She wakes up and she's like, what? Gets on her phone and searches on Facebook. I search on news, which is, that app on your phone that's automatically downloaded. She goes on Facebook and looks, and me and her both just stare at our screens in shock. Oh my God. My cousin was in another room asleep. I didn't want to wake her up. My sisters were asleep. If I woke them up and told them that the president died, I didn't know what they would think. I didn't want anything to turn into big chaos like it already was. The next morning rolls around. I tried to go to sleep and forget about that. Next morning rolls around. I hear my aunt and my cousin in the background talking about the president. And my sisters were on the couch asleep. I got up, woke my sisters up. George H.W. Bush passed away last night. So they were like, oh my God. Nobody cried, okay? I mean, I was sad, okay? I was really, really sad. Like I said, if I wasn't scared crapless about that, I would have been losing it. And if I lost it, I would have bawled my eyes out. That would have been something to wake everybody up. But I held it in. My sisters were shocked, and the look on their faces looked like the same thing. Like they were just trying to hold it in. They were about to cry, but they held it in. And it's like, it's been a day. It's been a day and a half since I found out this news. And to this day, right now, I'm still shocked. And whenever someone brings up anything good, like anything positive and happy and all that, I think about George H.W. Bush. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like something George H.W. Bush would do. And I'll bring it up. And I know that would be aggravating, just like listening to people's conversations and just immediately bring up George H.W. Bush. Well, George H.W. Bush was a really good man. And I want you to get a history book if you can about presidents. Go to George H.W. Bush and look through that man and study the history of him and to respect him. He now lives among us. And I want all of you, just all of you, to just think and remember about this great, great man. Think about all the great things he did and respect and love him for all the things he did for us. For him being the general of the armies. For him doing he did so many things. I'm honestly proud to call every founding father the actual president of the United States. Thank you all for watching. And I don't know what else to say. I've said everything. Well, as a bonus, as I was about to leave and pack up, my cousin was watching the NBA because it was on today. And, like, you know, there's, like, little lines, like, these little news lines that they have below, like, the screen. There was one bar the only bar that ever showed up was like, stuff about George H.W. Bush. And instead of me sitting there watching the game with my cousin, I just looked at the lines, and I just read everything like he was a good man. I watched some NBA, but when the lines came on about George H.W. Bush, I watched. I could honestly really give a crap about NBA. If it's about George W. Bush, I'm watching. I'm watching it. So I'm just looking at the lines, and Kane's like, watch the game. I'm like, no, I'm remembering George H.W. Bush. So I really missed like half the game looking at the little news lines below the screen. And that really shows. That really shows people how much I care about the president. All the presidents. I'd like to thank y'all for watching this video. And before I go, let's give a few more seconds of silence for a really great president that served for America. And during these moments of silence, I would like you to pray for him. Here we go. You know, I really wish I could have heard all of y'all's prayers. Because I would have loved to hear them right now. I'd love to be praying with y'all. Tonight before I go to bed, I'm going to pray for George H.W. Bush. Peace out.